they're going to make it personal. They're going to make it personal, and that only happens when it starts getting mental. It's always going to get physical. You know, like I said, Brandon, he touched on it, bro. You know, and it's a good topic.
Yeah, that's the defense mechanism, though. I mean, if you're challenging something that's near and dear to my heart, that's like you having a parent, right? You having a dad and a mom in the household. Then once you get 13, 14 years old, they sit down and have a conversation. This not your real dad. This not your real mom. You know, and you feel some kind of way, right? Because in your mind, that's dad and that's mom. Now, what they done in the past, does that negate who they are and what they've been to you because now you got this new information? You know, so but but sometimes we take information, if it's challenging what we used to and what we're accustomed to, we fight and we become I guess disillusioned, because then now you question the information that you had and you questioning this new information. So sometimes when you share information, you can confuse people even more, right? And so I think sometimes that's why I think where thinking becomes an option. I always say that thinking becomes an option because I don't want to be confused. The stuff that I already know or that I think I know, that's already confusing enough. Don't add nothing else to this plate. Don't add nothing else. I'm having enough time, a hard enough time dealing with what I already think I know.
Right.
And that's where the confusion works in. What does the enemy do to get you? An enemy confuses you, right? And an enemy would never be your friend. He will always be your enemy. So the trick of enemies, the trick of anyone is the art of what? Confusion.
Right.
So if we're confused, you can't organize to fight me properly because you're confused.
Right. I want to comment on. Can I comment on that real fast, bro?
Yes, sir. You may.
The reason I want to comment on it is because of what you just said.
Yes, sir.
The confusion. Sometimes as well, man. You know. Sometimes, because we talk to different people in our social settings, and then I was talking to some brothers, and we had the same conversation, and it's just like, I asked the brother, I said, man, you pray, right? He was like, yeah. I said, well, you believe, right? He said, well, of course I believe. I said, well, sometimes you have to be aware that sometimes those prayers are answered, but it might not come in that package that you wanted to see.
Yes,
but
sir.
if it do come, are you still willing to accept it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because sometimes that's what happens, when you challenge people's beliefs or whatnot and they become defensive. Sometimes they don't realize maybe this is your blessing, and your blessing might come through this individual. But if you're not going to acknowledge it, you're going to keep missing the mark. And I wanted to comment on that because of that statement that you made as far as the confusion. Sometimes the confusion is for a reason. You know what I mean?
That's a solid point. That's a solid point. And then sometimes the confusion is self-inflicted as well, because I won't let go of what I believe. I won't let go of what I'm used to doing. Okay, I know if I'm out on this trap and I'm hanging on this block, eventually I might get popped. So, I know this, right? And I know this, but I still get out here and do it. And then if I do get arrested, whose fault is it? Right? I'm fighting versus what I know is right versus what I want to do.
Right. Yeah, that's two different things. And I want to say, like, man, y'all brothers, y'all hitting on so many points, even with the confusion. I think that the worst form of oppression is self-oppression. Before somebody else can really oppress you, a lot of times it's because you allow that to happen by getting too relaxed sometimes, And we see what's going on now. A lot of times you get relaxed and people come and do certain things to you, whether physically, mentally, or whatever. As Vincent was saying, this is what happened, and people start thinking for you. If you don't think for yourself, people don't think for you. But I want to say that, we can learn a lot, man, from brothers like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I remember Martin Luther King, he said that he feared that he was leading his people into a burning building.
Yes, sir.
Because of some of his tactics. So that means that he sat back and gave thought to some of his tactics. He wasn't afraid to change. And sometimes we kind of miss their lesson, bro. When we doing things, and I think that's a powerful lesson. And Malcolm X, at first, he was talking about different things, but later he was always saying he was going to embrace change, and he wanted to work with Martin Luther King and not work against him. Because at first, they had since they had different tactics, it was a lot of criticism against each other from both of them, you know?
Exactly.
So they realized that, hey, we got the same goal in mind, even though we have different strategies to get there.
Right.
And I remember when I was younger, bro, I used to think when I first came into the knowledge, I was like, man, Martin Luther King was a coward. But Martin Luther King wasn't a coward, bro. I had to go out of that. He just had a different tactics. The tactics that Martin Luther King used in the South, he used in the South. If he used them up north, he might have got him, killed quicker or whatever. But the tactics that Malcolm X used in the North, he tried to do it in the South, it would probably been got him killed quicker. So these men had two different tactics, but they had the same plan and agenda. And I just want to say one more thing, just like somebody said something about the Donald Trump thing. I'm just bringing this up. A lot of people mad, or they call these people coons or whatever. That's that new word, right?
Yes, sir.
They call people coons when they met with Donald Trump. But, like I said on somebody's Facebook page, I was like, I'm not against anyone meeting with Donald Trump because it could be strategic. We should hear what he got to say behind closed doors. Because sometimes people say stuff in public and they put on fronts, and sometimes people say stuff behind closed doors. And I say this because you were speaking of the enemy earlier, Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
We are taught in the streets to keep the enemy in front of us. So why wouldn't you meet with him? But I think the real question is some people's character are questionable before they go meet with him. So I understand why some people say that because of some stuff these entertainers have did. And I'm going to leave with this. On this note, Malcolm X said, we are the only people, African Americans, back then he said, we're the only people that have our entertainers as leaders. He said, you don't see no other cultural and ethnic race of people that have their entertainers as leaders. Mm-hmm. So we kind of know what comes with that as well. But, I just want to kind of hit on that.
It's entertainment. It's entertainment. It's stuff to basically numb your brain and massage your brain, if you will, to relax from the day, if you call it, or whatever. So it's really not education and uplifting. It's entertainment. And that's why, sometimes we still asking the same questions, even in 2017. Where are we going to go? How far are we going to go? We still got a long way to go. So we still asking those same things because, again, the thinking process has been altered. There hasn't been a steady dose of think. This is what you do.
Right.
This is how you do it. This is the way. Because right now, if they say, okay, we're going to listen to you guys, let's go. There's no collective agenda. There's no collective agenda. Right. Everyone has their own belief in what they consider success is, what they consider black progress is, what they consider whatever. A lot of people feel that because when President Obama was elected and got in office, we made it. That was it. We good. As you say, relax. That's when the relaxing took place. And rather than coming together and bringing everything more to the forefront. So how can we get to this point to where we've never gotten here before, and then at the same time after November, we got a long way to go? Which one is it? I mean, which one is it, man? I mean, but now we mad and angry. Okay, we mad and angry, but is that going to lead to productivity? Would that lead to something? Would that lead to something, or is you just mad? And if you're mad, then why are you mad? And that's why I asked that question earlier, about why are we mad? We got to think about that. Why are we mad? I'm seeing so many rants, man, on Facebook. Just go up and down my line, right? People upset about this, pissed off about this, mad about. What will that do? What has that done? If that anger does not produce positive results, if that anger does not produce something that you can tangibly put your hand on and generations from now can put their hand on, then you just mad.
You're right, bro. You're right. Just to reiterate on what Brandon was saying, man.
Yes, sir.
And that's in the topic of what we're talking about, the thinking, right? I mean, this stuff right here, man. Like I say, some of these things it's going to be sensitive, and it's not to bash anybody, but it's to bring the light. It's just we're right now in our society, we go to the Bible, man. I mean, when we get a description of who Jesus was in the Bible, that ain't Bible. Those are the type of pictures that we see.
No,
so
sir.
With that being said, we really have to be honest about these things. If we read the scripture and they give you a description of this person, and you don't see that description, I mean, what is that telling us? that's telling us that somebody is controlling how you perceive what you believe in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is done.
Right.
This is done every day. It's been happening every day for the last 300 or 400 years, and brothers and sisters still accept it, you know. But I think the thing should be, when do we, like you said, when do we stop accepting it? Because we know, as far as the description, what we supposed to see, why is it that this picture is being portrayed. Now, this is just to those that's following, and to those that's actually leading. They read the same scriptures. They read the same scriptures that everybody else reads, but they still have the mindset and the tendency to portray them the way they portray them. So we know that comes with a motive. So now we get off into the motive. What's the motive? We see what the motive is. Because everything that we learn and everything that we taught, right, is pretty much indoctrinated and it's designed and built upon the white supremacy. And these are facts. This is not racial tension. This is not racial tension. These are facts. And what happens is, if we keep continuing to allow these images to be portrayed like this, it creates bad race relationships. That's what it does, because it doesn't show black people being a part of anything being positive. The only history we ever get a chance to encounter in our public schools is we were slaves. So that thinking alone creates an inferiority complex, right? Mm-hmm. So, and this is why we have to get. That's why we have so many issues that we have to deal with, and it's very sad that race would always have to be the bottom of it or the foundation of it, but that's the truth, and that's what we need to deal with. That's what we have to deal with, because you have people that are suffering from these complexes in our society, and no one is really tackling the problem. Everybody know what it is, but everybody's afraid to go toward it. You know, but these issues have to be dealt with, because it deals with what we're talking about now, thinking. Are we controlling our own thoughts, or is somebody else doing it for us?
Well, you have the indoctrination. We have it all over, right? We have it with every holiday, right? We have it with every election. We have it with every reality show. We have it with every sporting event. We have the indoctrination. You must be here. You must do this. You must think this way. And so I encourage everybody all the time, turn that stuff off. Just turn every distraction off. Everything that's taking you away from you and your creator, whatever name you want to call your creator, okay? I mean, whatever name, because we got people from all over that's listening, right? So people listen worship how you worship, but just spend time. Turn that other stuff off, because all that other stuff is telling you what to think. Right? But if you just turn all that out and tune out from all that, your creator will give you the information. You know what I'm saying? He would download the stuff into you, what you need, rather than just listening to that television programming. Listen to the narrative, because if you listen to it, it will make you angry. Dying, somebody got shot, somebody mad about this. This politician said this person said this person did this over here, this reality show over here, drama, TV. Most people like drama. If it's not high rating, if it's not high drama, then nobody's gonna really watch it, right? Hey, we looked at the game, it was boring. Oh, we looked at the fight, nobody really got knocked out, it was boring. You know, so we like drama. You know, if they put a movie as an action movie and ain't no action, ain't no fighting, shooting, and killing, we not gonna enjoy that movie because it didn't have no action. So we are programmed to love that drama. So if you like drama and are entertained by drama, would you say you're a person that a dramatical person? No, I'm not a dramatical person, but you're entertained by drama. Can you separate the two?
Right.
Hey, Shelton, you hitting on it, and you hitting out some stuff. And, you know, I go back to what Vincent said a long time ago. It stick out of my head. He's like, we got to get them back. A lot of these things they taught us. And all this comes from learned behavior. You know, we just talking with somebody about generational curses. And I said, I don't believe that, you know. I believe it's generational learned behaviors, because, you know, that's why we have alcoholics in our family. And if you go back to the roots, you'll see a lot of alcoholics probably in your family or other things, because it stems from, you know, you learn by what you see, or just like abuse, whether it's physically or verbally. This is learn